Toastmasters, I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day weekend. For myself, I was pretty busy trying to entertain two ladies. Nothing unethical here. Of course, I was out with my wife, but also my daughter, as we were celebrating her 7-year-old birthday. During dinner, Lauren, my daughter, was asking if she was ever going to have a Valentine on her own with her future boyfriend. I was puzzled with the question, and I told her that yes, eventually she would, once she turned 25 years old, like every well-behaved girl do, right? But then I recalled, when I was a 7-year-old boy, the time of my first love. Her name was Celine, a classmate. Until then, I had never really thought about who I would marry, well, except for my mom and my dog. I had a very cute collie named Milady. But Celine was the love of my life, my soulmate, my passion, my idol. I only dreamt about her long blonde hair, a very pretty face. I was under her spell. Well, technically, she didn't really know I loved her because I never had the courage to tell her. But fate was going to work in my favor. I had everything planned. See, she only lived a few minutes away from my house. So every weekend, I would take my bike and go for a ride and roam around her neighborhood. Of course, when I was close by her house, my bike would either derail or the tires would lack some air. Anyway, the repairs would take usually a few seconds or few minutes. How long it took didn't matter, as long as she would notice me and come out and play with me. One day, it was the perfect scenario. She came out and decided that we should play doctors together. She was the patient. She volunteered. So I made sure that I did a great job as a doctor. I had to deliver the right diagnosis, right? So I took my time to treat this very very sick patient appropriately. That's when her dad came out and shouted, "Celine, come home now, we're leaving." It was a disappointment, of course. I had not even finished the surgery. But I had to comply. It didn't matter. This was the best day of my life. We had some great adventures with Celine over the next few years, but it was not easy. There was a contender, Nicolas. And for some reason, she really liked Nicolas. Yes, he was tall, good in sports, pretty confident with the ladies. But how could she? I had spent so much time and effort on her, right? Looking back, didn't matter. I don't think he had too much on me. I think I ended up better than him anyway. But my years with Celine really taught me a lot about myself, how I should be more confident and really go for what I wanted. Fast forward a couple minor relationships. I'm now 17 years old and I meet this girl. Tall, blonde, long hair. Her name was Celine. Notice something similar here? She was way out of my league, of course. But I had to prove to myself that I could do this. So I used my humor to get some attention with her. And then after a long night at a wedding, fate had miraculously brought us there together. I was hooked. I couldn't think logically. My heart had taken over. I was under her spell. Celine was beautiful, of course, but probably not the type of girl that I should be with. Okay, she was not really smart, and she was really focusing a lot on fashion and boys. But I had won. I did it. I got the girl. And I had a car. So I could take her where no other boys could take her. I was her prince, or should I say, chauffeur. And what eventually should have happened. She found another guy with a better car. Once we were, and then we were not. So you have to think about this. We do crazy things for love, right? And I knew that eventually I would fall hard, and it did hurt, but that's what we do for love. After all the tears, I was able to shake it off like Taylor and move on. A couple years later, I moved to Chicago and met my future wife, Amy. She was a tall woman, long, dark hair, and smart too. Notice the difference here? Maybe it was a sign. We just clicked. No need of elaborate planning to get the girl. I just had to be myself. Charming, funny, and smart. Oh yeah, and modest too, right? We were meant to be. And 13 years later, with a 7-year-old daughter, I still got the girl. No Nicholas, no other fancy car driver, I still remain. Yes, we do crazy things for love. And nowadays, it's more about maybe cooking a fancy meal for her, doing the dishes, even though I'm kind of tired, or telling her she's right, even though deep down, I know I am. Okay, fine, she is. My daughter will soon open up her heart to some other boy, which I already don't like. But that's life, right? And life is meant to be lived fully. So I encourage you to learn and follow the advice from this anonymous quote. The greatest thing you'll ever learn in life is to love and be loved in return. Just to love and be loved in return. Thank you.